Well, hello there, everybody. I'm Brian, this is Shamrock'n Records, and today I am doing Americana Sam St. John's vinyl tag for Americana Music. Second year in a row, Sam has done this. It was probably my favorite video I did last year. So I meant to do this quite a while ago, and sorry, Sam, but I'm here now, and I got my beer, I got my mail. You know the drill. I got all the questions. Let's get this shit started, right? So, number one, this is gonna be 15 questions. Number one, what was my favorite Americana record of 2024? My favorite Americana record, and it was my favorite record of the year, and that was Tiger's Blood by Waxahachie. So, man, this thing, unreal. I love St. Cloud, her last record, and when I first listened to this one, it didn't hit me right away, but it grew and it grew and it grew, and I will tell you, it's unbelievable. I mean, I liked it in the beginning, but St. Cloud right away just was like, boom, hit me every single song. This one didn't hit me at first listen, but man, I love this record, and I put it right up there with St. Cloud now. I actually do. St. Cloud might be a better record for me, but I don't know. I think the two of them, they're very similar, but it's top notch. This thing is just so great. I just love her. I love her voice. I love her lyrics. I love her melodies. I went to see her live this year, which made me want to listen to it even more. She put on a fantastic show. It was right up front, like insane. She was great. She was great. Waxahachie, Tiger's Blood, my number one record of 2024. Let's see, number two, favorite Americana song of 2024. So my favorite song of 2024 was actually off of that record. The hit, Right Back to It. I absolutely loved it. But for the sake of showing a record, another record, because who wants to see Waxahachie again? I am going to show Sierra Farrell and her Trail of Flowers record, which is absolutely lovely. It's stunning. Americana folky, bluegrassy. My favorite song on this, so for this question, is called Fox Hunt, which is probably the most bluegrass song on the record. It's a ripper. Performed it live somewhere. I saw it live on like some TV. I was going through YouTube, like checking out her videos. She's just such a hot shit. Like, somebody compared her to Bjork as like being like this outrageous dresser. They're like, she's like the Americana version of Bjork. You know, she's out there. You know, but she came to Maine. I couldn't get tickets. It sold out before. I didn't think she was as popular as she is, and I was like, yeah, I'll just get tickets whenever, and it sold out. I'm a dumbass. Anyway, let's see. A favorite song with a banjo. All right, well, I'm kind of cheating. I'm not picking a song. Because the songs I actually wanted to show, I was already going to show the artist in another question. So I am showing one of my favorite banjo records of all time, and it's John Hartford's Aeroplane. I mean, it's it's like it's become like this cult classic record now. Like, I first heard of John Hartford when I was in college. It's like in the 90s when I heard of, not really him, but I heard a song off of this record. And it was called Up on the Hill Where We... Well, blah, blah, blah. That's what it was called. Up on the Hill Where We Do the Boogie. Do the boogie. Do the boogie. But yeah, that song was covered by Leftover Salmon. Which I had a Leftover Salmon CD when I was in college. And I used to listen to that. It was the Nashville sessions, which... Man, I wish I had that on vinyl. It came out, they reissued it, I think like a year or two ago. I didn't know until after it was sold out, and now it's like hundreds of dollars, and you can't get the freaking thing. But if anybody out there has a copy and they want to part with it, let me know. But yeah, so Leftover Salmon did that song, and many years later, my buddy Mike was listening to a podcast with what's her name, Sarah Watkins from Nickel Creek, and she was mentioning that record years and years ago, of how this record was one of the most important records to her, and da 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 da. So my buddy Mike was like, hey, have you ever heard this John Hartford guy? You should really check out this record. And he put it on the map for me. And then I found it in a bin in an antique shop for $6 many years ago, and I picked it up and I was pumped, and now it's become like this cult classic. It's insane how popular that record has gotten. If you ever see it, get it. It's unreal, that record. Let's see. Anyway, I'm holy crap. 7 minutes in, I'm only on 4. So, let's see. My favorite acoustic guitar player. My favorite acoustic guitar players are not Americana. So, I'm not going to mention them. And then I was like, you know, I kind of like John Prine's guitar playing, right? So I was like, I'm going to mention John Prine. He's not really a great guitar player, but you know it's John Prine. You know what I mean? Like, he's got that signature style. But then I was thinking, I was like, you know what? Ry Cooder is such an amazing guitar player. Everybody's mentioning Norman Blake, and I love Norman Blake. I've really gotten into him this year. But Ry Cooder is a freaking amazing guitar player. So I'm going with John Prine as a simple guitar player that I love. And Ry Cooder is just a nasty guitar player. But a little tidbit. On this record here, John Prine, the first song called Fish and Whistle, which is one of my favorite John Prine songs, right? Well, where I live in southern Maine here, there is a restaurant that started a couple of years ago in Biddeford, Maine, called Fish and Whistle. And they named it after this song. They just got named semi-finalist for the James Beard Award. So if you're ever in Biddeford, Maine, southern Maine, you gotta go check out Fish and Whistle. That place is unreal. Great seafood. Anyway, this isn't a promotion for Fish and Whistle. So let's go to the next song. Let's see, next question, number 5. An Americana record I have to spin again. Something I haven't really given a lot of spins, that I haven't given a chance. It's in my collection, but just sits there collecting dust. Well, I will tell you, I was watching Randy Nelson's Americana video a couple hours ago, and he mentioned this record, and I was like, I got that record. And he talked about how great this record is. I was like, I need to pull that out. So, thank you, Randy. I pulled out His Golden Messenger's Poor Moon. And I will tell you, I started, right after Randy's video, I started streaming it as I was taking a shower. because I wanted to have nice hair for all of you, because in my comments on my last video, I was wearing a winter hat, and people trashed me for wearing a winter hat. I was like, I just came in from the cold. I live in Maine. I had bad hair. So I made sure I did my hair for all of you, you know, all you single white guys, fat guys, drinking beers, sitting on it. I want to look good for all you guys. Anyway, yeah, I started streaming this as I was in the showers. It is awesome. So this will be on my turntable later tonight. Thank you, Randy, for mentioning that record. Let's see. Number 6, my most listened to Americana artist of 24. It's been the same one for the last couple years. Jason Isbell. I listened to him a ton. This is his newest one that came out, Live at the Ryman Volume 2. I saw him earlier in 2024. I saw him in like January. He came to Maine, you know, in support of Weather Vanes, and this has a ton off of that record. And this is an amazing record. He just does no wrong for me. I just love him so much. So Jason Isbell was probably my most listened to Americana artist again. Let's see. Number 7, the most listened to Americana record of 2024. Well, kind of cheating a little bit. It's an Americana sounding record. He's actually from Canada. So, but I saw him at Farm Aid back in September. And this record, I listened to so much this year. It's my favorite record by Neil Young. And it's Harvest Moon. And when I saw him in Saratoga Springs, New York, at Farm Aid, I didn't think he was going to play anything off of this. And he played 3 songs back to back to back to open the frickin' set at Farm Aid. He played Unknown Legend, From Hank to Hendrix, and Harvest Moon. And I was like, holy shit, these are like my 3 favorite frickin' Neil Young songs ever. And he played them back to back to back, and I was like, my mind was blown. He absolutely killed it. It was the first time I ever seen Neil Young. And man, what a show. I was just so happy to have been there to see that. And I love this record. So I've spun that a lot this year. An underrated Americana artist, number 8. I will tell you, this is an underrated Americana artist, but this record in particular is just the Felice Brothers. I love this record. From like New York. And they really remind me of the band. I mean, check, if you don't know this, listen to The Greatest Show on Earth and listen to Frankie's Gun. Listen to those songs. Listen to Frankie's Gun. Holy mother. And tell me they don't sound like the band. These guys are insane. So good. So check out the Felice Brothers. I'm sure you all know them, but if you don't, they're definitely underrated. They don't get enough attention, I don't think. Let's see. Number 9, an Americana compilation. I had a tough time with this, and then eventually I thought of something. And back in like 2017, Steve Earle and Sean Colvin put this record out together. And I actually met Sean Colvin, and she signed it for me the night that I saw her. I bought this at her show. I'll be honest, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest record, I'll be honest. Like, some of the covers on here I think kind of suck, to be honest. Like Ruby Tuesday and Tobacco Road, I'm like, kind of lame. But there's some originals on here too that are okay. I love both artists, but it's just kind of cool that they did a record together, and I met Sean and she signed it, and here's my ticket from that night. But yeah, Sean Colvin and Steve Earle. Let's see, number 10, an underrated record by a favorite Americana artist. Well, one of my favorite Americana artists is the Avett Brothers, and they finally issued one of my favorite records by them this year, called Mignonette. This originally, I don't remember when this originally came out. It had to be maybe 2003, 2004. It was out before Emotionalism. The record before that, I don't remember what year. Looks like 2004 it originally came out. What a beauty. That first song, Swept Away, is just unbelievable. One of my favorite songs by them. One of my favorite songs, the song At the Beach, is incredible. Underrated song by one of my favorite bands, Mignonette, Avett Brothers. Perfect record. Let's see. Number 11. An Americana record with a suit on the cover. Somebody showed this. I forget. I saw somebody already show it, but when I first heard this is the record that came to mind, and I was like, I'm not gonna even try and find something else. This is the Punch Brothers. This is the first record I thought of, and we're going with the Punch Brothers. Chris Tilley and the boys here. Some jazzy bluegrass, unbelievable musicians in that band. If you haven't heard, I'm sure you guys know. It is Chris Tilley from Nickel Creek. That's his other project. If you don't know it, check it out, because he's one hell of a mandolin player, and really everybody in that band is just like music geniuses. It's like they're unreal. Let's see. Number 12, an Americana record with a beard on the cover. It's gonna show Blaze Foley, you know. He's got his big old Dylan from Noble Records beard going on that frickin'. I see it, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Every time I look at Blaze Foley, I'm like, Dylan. I'm going with Norman Blake. This record's freaking insane. Whiskey for Breakfast. Or Whiskey Before Breakfast. Whiskey for Breakfast, Before Breakfast. You know. Who am I to judge? I like Whiskey for Breakfast. I mean, honestly. But Norman Blake, I've really gotten into him a lot this year. I picked up several of his records this year. I was gonna show, actually, yeah. It all started with this. Thanks to Mazzy. Mazzy showed this in a video maybe 2 years ago, I think. I think Mazzy showed it like 2 years ago, and he talked about how incredible it is and how the sound is just amazing, you know, like it's like one of those records that you want to play when you get new equipment, you know. It's incredibly recorded. And I didn't see Mazzy's video right away, but Jonathan did, Cheap and Cheerful Record Collector, and he told me about it. He's like, hey, have you ever heard this? It's unreal. So he's like, Mazzy just talked about it, and literally, like, we went out digging like right afterwards, and John found it like immediately after Mazzy talked about it. So then I was like, all right, I'm gonna grab it. And damn, I'm glad I grabbed this. I mean, but this is Norman Blake. You got Tut Taylor, Sam Bush, Vassar Clements. I mean, it's a who's who of bluegrass artists, and man, if you have it, it is an incredibly, I don't even know, well recorded record, and it just sounds insane coming out of your speakers. So that was the first Norman Blake record I got like 2 years ago, and now I've just kind of gone down the rabbit hole. Whenever I see them cheap, I pick them up. You can find them out there. I mean, they're usually 10 or less. I mean, they're not expensive records, but they're great. So Norman Blake, Whiskey Before Breakfast. Let's see. Number 13, 2 albums on the same label. All right, well, I just got this week. I already had this record, but I was flipping through a used bin at Bull Moose earlier this week, and I was like, signed by Justin Townes. I was like, you gotta be shitting me. So I upgraded. It's immaculate. But I already had this same version. I think it's on like orange vinyl, whatever, who cares. But it was signed, and it was really cheap. And so I'm just upgrading my copy. So, but it's on New West. And another band that I love is on New West, and that is the Old 97s. New West. So, Justin Townes Earl and the Old 97s. Number 14, an Americana Grail that I am looking for. Well, an Americana Grail that I am looking for is by an artist called Terry Allen, and the record's called Juarez. Came out in 1975. Singer-songwriter. He's done work with Guy Clark, Lucinda Williams, David Byrne. He made this concept record back in 1975. It's like his opus. Man, check it out, stream it. Juarez by Terry Allen. It I don't know, it just like tells a story. I don't really know the whole thing because I don't have it yet. Not on vinyl, at least. I've streamed it, but it tells a story of like 2 couples in like with like the West, or like, I don't know. There's these 2 couples that like kind of like male female couples, and they meet somewhere, and there's an altercation, and there's like a murder, and I don't know, like one of the guys that was one of the couples like was with like this, I don't know, like prostitute from Mexico or something, and they were running through the states, and I don't know, but it's like this crazy story, and they said it's like supposed to be one of the best concept records ever made. So Terry Allen, Juarez, that is the record that I've been looking for this thing for, probably 10 years. I've never seen an original. I've never seen a reissue. It's been reissued. I've actually just ordered it. After thinking about, I was like, you know what? I should just order it. So, I ordered the reissue, but I'm looking for an original. And my last, number 15, the record I'm hoping for, to come out in 2025. I was hoping for one, and my wishes come true. Jason Isbell's new record, it's coming out soon. I pre-ordered it already, so I can't wait to get his solo record, his first solo record in a few years without like the Nashville sound. I've heard the first song. I forget the name of the first song, but I've streamed it, and it's insane. And I just have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of, I don't know, after his like breakup with Amanda, I can only imagine what these songs are going to sound like. So I'm ready to put my sad bastard hat on and listen to some Isbell. So anyway, thank you again, Sam, for doing this tag, starting up these questions. Thank you, Randy Nelson, for getting me to pull out his Golden Messenger. And I want to give a shout out. 24 minutes in and nobody's watching anymore, but I'm going to shout him out, and I'll shout him out again because I know nobody's watching right now. But Bill Garrettson, holy Jesus Christ, man. I hope you're watching, Bill. But, man, he has made 2 videos now. He's made the Americana video, and he's made the Vinyl Tag 25. Brand new channel. Last I looked, he only had 5 subscribers. Go subscribe to Bill Garrettson, okay? I think it's either b.garrettson or bill.garrettson. I am telling you, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite channels. I just love listening to this guy, listening to what he's showing. He shows things that nobody else shows, and it's in my wheelhouse. And like, I'm not saying that there's no other good channels out in the VC, but I'm telling you, this guy is for me. He shows the stuff that I like. He shows singer-songwriter stuff that nobody else shows. He's already introduced me to a handful of singer-songwriters that I had never even heard of, and I've streamed them, and they're insane, and this guy's going to make me spend money, and I'm so excited because I needed somebody new in the VC to introduce me to some new shit. So, cheers.